This video is from the author's diary, which means no studying. Woohoo! Okay, so if you're studying, watch this video later. A lot of people wanted to know how Medicowesome started, and it's too long of a post to write, so I thought of making a video on it. The idea started in 2010, which was my first year of medical school. My classmates told me that I have beautiful notes. I like drawing diagrams and labeling points on it, especially in anatomy and biochem and stuff. It was my brother, Mufaddal, also known as IFU, who suggested that I should put up my notes on the internet. Well, he did not just suggest, he totally pushed me into doing it. So the idea was I take my already made first year notes, take a camera, click them, and upload it. And maybe it will help someone. The idea was ready, but the name wasn't. What was I going to call my blog? After a lot of brainstorming, I just sat down and thought, what do I like the most? At that time, Kung Fu Panda was my favorite movie, and awesome was my favorite word. So, ta-da! Medicowesome was born. I could probably make another video on why Kung Fu Panda is the best movie ever. I really like how the movie revolves around believing in yourself and there is no secret ingredient. I like Kung Fu Panda so much, I painted it on my hostel wall along with Naruto, and if I have a picture of it, I'll definitely put it up in this video. If you haven't watched Kung Fu Panda, go watch it. I highly recommend the movie. The logo is another story. In my pre med years, I was extremely fascinated about how the brain controls so many of our functions. I like drawing, and medical notes were my art after all. So I decided to depict a neuron head whose axon is a pencil, essentially representing how the brain is creating everything. The blog was ready, and I started off in 2011. I was in second year at that time, and I had the habit of Googling whatever I was learning. And I noticed that things like vasomotor reversal of tail, difference between blood agar and chocolate agar, clotting factors, mnemonics weren't on Google at that time. So I wrote about those and I knew it would help someone, and they became quite popular. I must say that back in 2011, the blog wasn't fancy like it is today. Forget fancy, it didn't even have proper grammar. Don't believe me? I'll post links in the description. But my point is, when you start something, and I don't care if it's poetry, music, or whatever, when you start something, it does not need to be perfect. And if you wait for it to be perfect, you'll probably never start. So just start and be kind to yourself and believe that you will match up to your expectation. But you need to start so that you develop and be patient as you grow. I think your why is as important as your what. I know I wanted to help people, so I did not stop. But if your why is not strong, you will not have a reason to go on, no matter what your passion is. So be clear on the why. I know I went a little off track out there, but these are actually questions that I have got. One of my readers asked, what do you do when you don't get appreciation for the work you do? But if your why is strong, you will continue what you're doing, irrespective of the appreciation that you get. I do not receive any comments on my work till 2 to 3 years after posting my content. My point is, the process is slow. You might not get appreciation in the beginning. Maybe your work isn't good enough. Maybe you don't get noticed a lot. But you need to continue what you do so that you get to where you want to be. Talking of comments and appreciation, I think the best comments I've received was a comment on Tumblr from the student who said that I gave him his motivation back by being inspiring and fun. Another tip I would like to give is always remember the compliments you receive and forget all the insults. Time management is another topic that Osmites have asked me to talk about. How do I manage blogging and studying? How do you manage anything besides medical school? It's really tough. Initially, yes, it took me a lot of time to put up my blogs. Posts like aortic arch derivatives and Darrow unit diagrams took me 2 to 3 days to write and publish. I think it's a generalization that you're bound to take more time initially because you don't have the experience and practice that naturally comes after you do a ton of work. And I think this is true for when you're learning anything really. This is why first few months of med school or residency is tougher, simply because you have no idea what you're doing and you are not as productive as you need to be. So it's okay. Take your time. Blogging now has become a habit, and I can write posts within minutes while I'm traveling. All I need is my phone to type. And my advice for you is that if you're good at multitasking, don't waste time. What I usually do is if I get a phone call, I put on my headphones and I start doing my laundry, folding my clothes, etc. If I'm traveling, I start writing my blogs or start reviewing my flashcards. I don't think everybody would prefer doing this, but this is what I do. I'm going to stop talking for now. I hope that covers all of the questions that I've been asked till date. But if you have any other questions, just leave them in the comments below and I'll address them in my next video. Shoutouts to my mom and dad for being so supportive, Mufadal, whom I've stalked and learned all the graphic stuff, and Renata from My Notes for USMLE for your love and support. So yeah, this is the Medicowesome story and this is ICANN signing off. Stay awesome.